everyone, welcome back to Mrs. Hoffman's Reading Corner. Today, we're going to read The Blabber Report by True Kelly. This is a story about Blabber Mouse and how he had to get through a book report and it was hard and a little scary and he needed some help. While we're reading, I want you to think about it. When something is hard or difficult, who can we call or ask for help? Here we go. The Blabber Report by True Kelly. Sigh. He. Murmur. Well, so like he. Where was my book report is about? What was I saying? Poor Blabber might be in for it. The classroom was humming on Monday morning. The mice were finishing up their science posters. Blabber Mouse, who liked to talk and talk, was telling his friends about his weekend in detail. "I'm sorry to interrupt, Blabber," said Mrs. Numley, the teacher, "but I have an announcement." I'm thinking, Blabber is this mouse's name, and it says in the story that Blabber likes to talk and talk. You know, I think his name might be telling me a little bit about what kind of character is. Blabber means to talk and talk. When someone blabbers, they talk a lot. And I think Blabber Mouse might be known for doing that. "Class, we will be doing oral book reports next week," she said. Suddenly, the whole room was dead silent. Teacher said it. Oral book reports. Oral means to talk. And we know about book reports. This one's not even in writing. They've got to talk. Let's find out some more how this goes. For oral book reports, you had to stand up in front of everyone and all their beady little staring eyes. You had to talk about a book for 5 long minutes. Oral book reports were scary. 5 minutes talking was nothing to Blabber. He talked all the time, but an oral report was not like ordinary talking. If you all do a good job on your reports, we will have a cheesy chip cookie party, said Mrs. Numley. I wonder if cheesy chip cookies are like chocolate chip cookies. I guess it could work. I like cheese snappies and I like Cheez-Its. Your oral book report. Title, author, plus plot summary. Who, what, when, where, how, and why. Why did you choose your book? Do you recommend it? Tell 3 things about your book others might not know. Know your subject. 4. Good eye contact plus clear voice. Or else no cookies. Talking. Blabber. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18 times. Blabber talks a lot. Jojo, 2 times. Alice was absent that day. Blabber really wanted to do a good job. If he didn't, no cookies for anyone. The problem was that Blabber's school reports never turned out right. The Too Short story. Once upon a time, there was a cross-out dog, cross-out cow, cross-out fish, cat, period. The end, by Blabber M. The Too Long haiku poem, well, that's long and everybody fell asleep. The colonial times map that must have fallen in the toilet. Oh, that's not good. I hope the toilet was okay. And today, the science poster. This time, I'll really try, thought Blabber. I'll try harder than ever before. Everyone was supposed to pick out a book at the library. George loved the book he found called Snakes. Jojo dug out a book called Root Vegetables. Blabber couldn't decide on a book. There were so many. The next day, George wrote out a speech on note cards. Blabber drew snake pictures for him. Jen was too busy to talk to Blabber. She was reading the encyclopedia book JKL and putting sticky notes on all the interesting pages. Oh, here's Blabber drawing the snake. And here we are working on reports and writing out what we're going to say for our speech note cards. And here's Joan and her sticky notes. You know, I'm kind of like Joan. I like to put sticky notes on all my books. Please sit down and do your own work, Blabber, said Mrs. Numley, bit by bit, and you'll get it done. At his desk, Blabber doodled on his notebook. He didn't even want to think about his report. Oh dear, Blabber really needs to think about his report. Jojo hated his book. Boring root vegetables. Blabber told him a veggie joke. Why did the potato burp? Because he was a rude vegetable. Oh, that's funny. That's pretty funny. Okay, I see why Jojo's laughing so hard. And here comes Mrs. Numley, and she gives the look. You know, that teacher look. Sometimes moms have it too. Mrs. Numley gave Blabber the look. As book report day got closer, Blabber wiggled in his chair even more than usual. He got up to sharpen his pencil 32 times, and he stared out the window. Do you think maybe he's having a hard time getting started? I think maybe that's what I do when I have a hard time getting started, is I like to sharpen my pencil a lot. At recess, he stared in the window. He was too quiet. Are you worried about your oral book report? Lulu asked. No prob, Bob. It's a breeze, Louise. No worry, Gloria, said Blabber. But Blabber was faking it. He was terrified. He was tortured. He hadn't even picked out a book yet. Oral book report day arrived. Who would like to be first? Asked Mrs. Numley. George said a snake had eaten his note cards. Lulu thought her book might have been stolen by a burglar. Blabber was under his desk with his eyes closed tight. I am invisible. I am invisible, he thought. How to be a good listener. 1. Good eye contact. 2. Nod when you like what you hear. 3. Ask questions that show interest. 4. Do not ask trick questions. 5. Pay attention. But Joan wildly waved her paws. Me, she yelled. Oh, Joan likes to go first. So Joan was first. She sure was ready, annoyingly ready. She wore a costume. She had full color charts. She had handouts. She had cheese samples. Okay, it was actually pretty interesting. Chart number 7, Jarlsberg, Norwegian cheese, yearly net consumption. That's how much they ate, all the way in Jarlsberg. Cheese samples for everyone. Aromatic, that means how it smells. Limburger cheese, oh that's right, Limburger's known for being stinky cheese. Chart number 9, kangaroo, anatomy. Oh, she's got a diagram here with labels. In summary, Joan finished, I highly recommend the encyclopedia book JKL. The class clapped politely, but everyone looked pale and stunned. No one thought they could do as well as that. Blabber, you are next, said Mrs. Numley. Blabber's blood ran cold. Oh, he hasn't even picked out his book yet. Under his desk, Blabber noticed the book in his backpack, Scary Dinosaurs. Last summer, he had read it 4 times. Perfect. The mice clapped before Blabber even started. They all fixed their beady little eyes on him. After a dramatic pause, Blabber held up his book and he froze. He forgot. He seized up. He looked at the ceiling. He looked at the floor. He blinked. He giggled and jiggled. He turned red. He turned white. He turned green. My book, it is, he stammered, but he couldn't go on. You may sit down, Blabber, said Mrs. Numley. Blabber slouched back to his seat. His oral book report was a disaster. The whole class thought cookies looked doubtful. Thank you, Blabber, said Mrs. Numbley. You tried. You can try again later. Oh, what a nice teacher. She's going to let him try again. Blabber's heart sank. Later would be even worse. He had let everyone down, and now he hated his favorite book. George was up next. He forgot what his book was. He stared at his tail. Then he remembered snakes. George read from his note cards. Somehow, he pulled it off and zoomed for the safety of his desk. Phew! In a funny, wobbly voice, Jojo said he did not recommend his book at all. Lulu gave her talk and giggled a lot. She had a terrible and fierce fake smile through the whole thing. But she did a pretty good job. He. The missing cheese mystery. Every day, more mice gave their reports. There were mumblers, wobbly knees, and jigglers, and freezers. Nobody was perfect, except Joan, of course. Finally, Mrs. Numbley said, "Good job, everyone. And Blabber, it's your turn tomorrow." The whole class looked nervous. At recess, Blabber was not talking and talking. His friends wanted to help. "Just do your report bit by bit," said Jojo. "And try practicing in front of a mirror tonight. It worked for me." "Use these sticky notes," Joan suggested. "Prompts are good," said Lulu. She drew a picture for him to use. George helped Blabber make notes on note cards. Blabber thought they might actually work. Bit by bit, Blabber felt better about his report. He practiced in front of his mirror. He marked interesting facts in his book with sticky notes. He had Lulu's picture, and best of all, he had a set of note cards that told him exactly what to say. The next morning, Mrs. Numbley asked, "Are you ready to give your report, Blabber?" "Yes," said Blabber. He stood up in front of the room and waited for the class to calm down. Suddenly, he felt sick. Where were his note cards? He had left them on the bus. He couldn't think of a single thing to say. What was his book about? What was his book? And all the beady little eyes were on him, staring. Scary, thought Blabber. "Scary dinosaurs!" he yelled. "Yes!" cried the class. Name of book? What's it about? Show poster. Sticky notes say what? Tell the root veggie joke. Is it a scary book? Why did you pick it? Tell me something you don't know. Did you like it? Then they all helped Blabber through. Oh, what wonderful friends. They held up some posters to help him get through his book report. That would definitely help me if I had some friends holding up posters when I was giving my report. Before Blabber knew it, he was done. "And that's the Blabber Report," he said. "Oh, look, yay, we're throwing our signs." Everyone was cheering. We even had a sign for applause. "Super report," said Mrs. Numbley. "Thank you," said Blabber. "I couldn't have done it without such a great audience." Cheesy chip cookies, here they come. And here they go. And everyone had their cheesy chip cookies. Thanks, guys, for joining me with the Blabber Report today. Something to think about. When something's hard or difficult, who can we ask for help? In this story, the book report was hard for all of the students. And at first, even when Blabber was procrastinating, he was kind of going around and helping his friends. He helped them with jokes so that they wouldn't be nervous. He helped them with drawing pictures of the snake. He even listened to some of his friends talking about their book reports. And then, when it was Blabber's turn to need help, because it was a hard book report, his friends came through for him. They even made posters at the end when they gave him his own good advice right back. Maybe sometimes we have hard things to do, and we can ask our classmates for help. Thanks for joining me today. Oh, and if anybody feels like doing a book report, I I'd love to see a video of it. Ta-ta!